Welcome back, everyone. Dustin Davis here. It's one of those where the Bears can't afford to sit still, and what's being discussed right now deserves a closer look. The Chicago Bears face a crossroads this offseason. After falling short in the playoffs once again, the front office must make calculated decisions that balance immediate competitiveness with long-term sustainability. The margin between contention and mediocrity has never been thinner. Roster construction demands difficult choices when salary cap realities collide with championship ambitions. Chicago's leadership will need to evaluate every high-priced veteran, every depth piece, and every positional need with surgical precision. The decisions made in the coming months will either accelerate the team's trajectory or leave them circling the same frustrating patterns. What unfolds next will test Ryan Poles' vision for this franchise. In the last few hours, multiple new developments around the Chicago Bears have surfaced, and some of them could reshape the conversation moving forward. Let's check it out. Before we continue, for your support, if you like what we're sharing, just take a second to hit that like button. It really helps us. Thank you. The front office must address cap constraints to assemble a competitive roster, and that reality requires parting with several expensive players currently occupying significant cap space. Veteran linebacker Tremaine Edmunds regularly surfaces in discussions about potential roster cuts. His release would generate approximately $15 million in savings. Chicago might also contemplate releasing running back DeAndre Swift, creating roughly $7.47 million in space, or tight end Cole Kmet, $8.4 million, to secure meaningful cap relief heading into 2026. Instead of an outright release, the Bears may explore trade scenarios if they've decided to move forward without the $50 million tight end this offseason. Bleacher Report's Christopher Knox proposed that Chicago should market Kmet as a luxury asset during the 2026 offseason, projecting a fifth-round selection as reasonable compensation and pointing to the Carolina Panthers as a sensible landing spot. Knox observed that although Kmet saw reduced involvement during Colston Loveland's first professional season, Kmet has delivered 3 distinct 500-yard receiving seasons and will turn just 27 in March. He suggested Kmet could function as a trustworthy long-term starter for any organization seeking a pass-catching tight end. Knox further noted that Carolina, coming off an NFC South championship, could benefit from a more explosive receiving tight end to support quarterback Bryce Young and sustain their upward momentum. Speculation about trading Kmet isn't new. Ever since Chicago selected Loveland with the number 10 overall selection in 2025 draft, numerous analysts have raised questions about Kmet's roster security, a viewpoint that Loveland's outstanding rookie performance only strengthened. Loveland required an adjustment period during 2025. A shoulder concern identified before the draft restricted him early in his first NFL offseason and into training camp, and a hip ailment in Week 3 sidelines him for his inaugural career absence in Week 4 against the Raiders. Once fully recovered and deployed aggressively, Loveland rapidly became a difference-making contributor. During the final 12 regular season contests, Loveland compiled 53 receptions for 569 yards and 6 touchdowns, routinely logging at least 40 offensive snaps each game. He contributed 12 catches for 193 yards during the playoffs, highlighted by a dominant performance: 8 receptions, 137 yards, 63 snaps in the 31-27 triumph over the Green Bay Packers. Loveland's commitment to handling blocking assignments in both running and passing situations also cemented his availability on the field. Pro Football Focus assigns him a 70.0 run blocking grade during his rookie campaign, and his blocking proficiency continued advancing as the season unfolded. With Loveland already nearing elite status and controlled for 3 additional seasons, plus a potential 5th-year option in 2029, Chicago could view separating from Kmet before 2026 as justifiable if cap relief becomes critical. The rationale for trading Kmet carries weight. Considering his $11.6 million cap hit and Loveland's emergence, Kmet may seem like a dispensable asset. Nevertheless, Chicago could resist a trade based on how head coach Jen Benson utilized Kmet throughout his inaugural year leading the team. During 2025, Kmet posted his weakest receiving number since his rookie campaign: 33 receptions for 378 yards and 3 touchdowns across the regular season and playoffs. However, he achieved a career-high 11.6 yards per reception and maintained reliability as a blocker, appearing on the field for 768 of Chicago's 1,154 offensive snaps, 67 more than Loveland. Kmet's snap distribution tells a revealing story. Jensen preferred multiple tight end packages, deploying both Kmet and Loveland for more than 700 snaps each, while utilizing third-string Durham Smythe for nearly 300 snaps. If Jensen continues valuing Kmet's contributions, keeping him represents a defensible strategic choice. I like Kmet, but this league doesn't wait. When a cheaper, younger tight end starts producing like that, hard choices follow. If the Bears need room to reload, this might be the cleanest move. Would you pull the trigger? Leave your point of view in the comments. Beyond the offensive side, Chicago's most urgent need lies on the defensive edge, and one elite name continues to dominate trade speculation, transforming last season's divisional round appearance into a genuine Super Bowl contender by 2026 requires aggressive action from Chicago's front office. The organization understands it must pursue impactful moves through free agency and trades to evolve from playoff participants into championship threats. And that urgency will shape Ryan Poles' offseason strategy. Poles will prioritize pass rush improvements and guaranteeing Montez Sweat receives quality support on the edge. One trade possibility generating discussion is Las Vegas Raiders defensive end Maxx Crosby. And a recent contract analysis from CBS Sports' Joel Corey suggests Crosby's financial situation could make a transaction more achievable for Chicago. Corey reported that Crosby was evaluating his Raiders' future after disagreeing with being held out late in the season due to a knee injury before Week 17's matchup against the New York Giants. For any trade to materialize, Crosby may need to pressure Raiders owner Mark Davis to approve a deal. The Raiders temporarily made Crosby the league's highest-paid non-quarterback last March with a 3-year, $106.5 million extension, averaging $35.5 million, though he retained 2 seasons on his previous agreement and the circumstances could complicate trade negotiations. That theoretical Crosby to Chicago scenario has dominated offseason speculation circuits. The attraction is undeniable. Crosby's established record delivers production and reliability that would substantially enhance Chicago's pass rush. Throughout 7 NFL seasons with the Raiders, Crosby has collected 69.5 sacks, including 4 campaigns with double-digit totals. He has received 5 straight Pro Bowl selections and earned second-team All-Pro recognition twice. Obtaining Crosby would likely demand considerable draft compensation and future resources, potentially including multiple first-round selections. Still, Bears fans contend the benefit of partnering Crosby with Montez Sweat warrants a significant investment, considering the disruptive pressure combination those two could generate against opposing offensive tackles. Supporters will monitor March closely for trade developments, but until concrete movement occurs, the vision of Crosby wearing a Bears uniform remains an offseason fantasy for many followers. This is the kind of move that tells the league you're serious. Pairing Crosby with Sweat would scare offenses immediately. Yeah, it's expensive, but contenders don't play it safe. Would you give up first-rounders for that duo? Let us know in the comments if you would do this, even if it's expensive. Shifting to the secondary, another high-stakes positional battle is brewing as the Bears weigh their options at free safety heading into free agency. Chicago confronts a potential opening at free safety for 2026 if retaining Kevin Byard proves impossible. General Manager Ryan Poles may be compelled to explore alternatives rather than assume a straightforward Byard re-signing. Cap limitations complicate circumstances further. Even if Chicago generates space, a competitive bidding war for a 33-year-old All-Pro could escalate the cost beyond what the front office is willing to commit long-term. That reality creates a reasonable opportunity for a younger, accomplished replacement who could prolong the team's competitive timeline without immediately straining the budget. Jessie Bates III, a 3-time second-team All-Pro with the Atlanta Falcons, matches the profile. In 2025, Bates recorded 3 interceptions, 6 pass breakups, and 98 tackles, while permitting opponents to complete just 56.3% of passes into his coverage, the 3rd season in 8 where he's restricted opposing quarterbacks under 60% in his coverage zone. Bates also proved durable, participating in every Falcons contest for a 3rd consecutive year and missing only 3 games throughout his career. Atlanta's organizational overhaul already includes appointing Kevin Stefanski as head coach and promoting Matt Ryan to president of football operations. A general manager search continues. That leadership transition increases the likelihood the Falcons will restructure veteran components that don't align with the new timeline, making a Bates trade conceivable if Atlanta aims to accelerate a rebuild or adjust the roster composition. SpotTrack's projections estimate Bates' 2026 cap charge at approximately $13 million, moderately above the $8 to $12 million annual range many forecast for Byard on the open market. But Bates is 3 years younger than Byard, which could translate to additional seasons of superior play and better synchronization with Chicago's developing window. Structurally, a trade that acquires a younger, established starter makes strategic sense if the team wants consistency without overspending in free agency. One suggested framework: Chicago transfers a 2026 fourth-round selection, the Rams pick they previously acquired, to Atlanta for Bates and the remaining year of his contract, then negotiates a brief extension to prevent a one-year rental. The transaction would secure a proven playmaker at free safety without sacrificing premium draft assets, and it provides Chicago the chance to prescribe a schedule for a multi-year extension that accommodates their cap strategy. Letting Byard walk would sting, but Bates feels like an upgrade you can live with: younger, productive, and always on the field. If a fourth-round pick gets that done, I'm listening. Would you make that call? Meanwhile, a veteran pass rusher on the open market could provide an immediate answer without sacrificing draft capital in the process. Pro Football Focus designated Trey Hendrickson as the optimal free agent match for Chicago, and the argument centers on evident needs and a potential schematic reunion. Montez Sweat delivered meaningful contributions, but Chicago's edge rotation otherwise lacked quality depth. No other edge rusher with at least 100 pass rush snaps recorded a pass rush win rate exceeding 10%. Chicago concluded 29th in pressure rate, 31.1% during the regular season, highlighting the necessity for a dependable game changer off the edge. Reuniting Hendrickson with defensive coordinator Dennis Allen, who previously collaborated with him, would represent a logical schematic alignment. Despite an injury-shortened 2025, Hendrickson profiles as one of the more accomplished pass rushers available. Over the previous 3 seasons, he ranks among the top 5 at his position in PFF pass rush grade on true pass sets, 92.5, and is one of 6 edge defenders with a pass rush win rate exceeding 20%. He led the league in sacks in 2024 and finished second in 2023, establishing him as a proven disruptor when healthy. His familiarity with Allen's system, originating from New Orleans, further reinforces the case for a rapid schematic integration. From a contract standpoint, Hendrickson's age and the 2025 injury make a multi-year top-dollar agreement less probable, which could enable Chicago to sign him on a shorter, cost-controlled contract that preserves draft capital. Concerns carry legitimacy. Hendrickson will be entering his age 32 season, and his 2025 campaign concluded prematurely with surgery. Across 7 games, he generated 4 sacks and 16 tackles. Durability questions naturally emerge, and he's never been widely regarded as an elite run defender, a characteristic Dennis Allen typically prioritizes in his edge personnel. Those factors could restrict his long-term ceiling in a role that demands both pass rush and run defense capabilities. A relevant historical warning: Chicago's signing of veteran Jared Allen late in his career produced immediate pass rush impact but limited sustained returns over time. That example highlights the gamble of relying on older edge rushers who can contribute immediately yet bring longer-term uncertainty. Despite the risks, Hendrickson's positives are concrete: immediate rotational assistance without surrendering draft picks, proven sack production, and schematic familiarity with Dennis Allen. For a team that finished 22nd in sacks in 2025, a veteran edge signing could meaningfully elevate pressure rates and third down effectiveness. Structuring a short, incentive-based deal would minimize downside while providing Chicago a clear evaluation window. What do you think? Should the Bears pursue Trey Hendrickson in free agency? Chicago doesn't need a project here. They need sacks. Hendrickson's age is a concern, but proven pass rushers don't grow on trees. If he's affordable and healthy, I'd take the gamble. Would you? Support the channel by leaving a like. Stay one step ahead with all the latest on Bears. See you in the next one.